And I'm Shreya Upadhyay. Well, celebrated visually and speech impaired author Helen Keller had once said that blindness separates people from things, but deafness separates people from people. But here we are at a cafe in Delhi's North Campus where people are brought together despite their differences. It employs people who are hearing and speech impaired, and today we'll try and understand what their challenges are, how they feel when they work at a cafe like this, and even about the ongoing LokSabha elections. The cafe is a fantastic example of non-verbal communication. For example, you switch on a bulb to call the server, or you may write what you want from a menu that identifies dishes with a code. And if you want to call for the bill, simply turn over a placard to let your server know. Well, I have Ashish with me, who's been working at Echoes Cafe in Delhi's North Campus for the last 2.5 years. And we're also joined by one of the 6 founders of this place, Kshitij. Well, let's talk to Ashish and try and understand what ails him and how did he get here. Can you ask him, how did he get to know about this place?
So he's saying that earlier he was not knowing about the place, but his friend Prince told him about the place. So initially he came to look around and judge like whether he'll be able to work or not.
Can you also ask him the challenges that he faces at work, because people have become sensitive, but they're still not really open to the fact that people who are hearing impaired and speech impaired are working at cafes?
So he's saying initially there were some challenges when people were not really knowing about the concept and the cafe. But gradually the people started to know about the place, and even they tell them in advance when someone new arrives in.
Okay, and can you also ask him whether he's on any of the social media accounts?
He's saying the group is on WhatsApp with all the friends, and they communicate on WhatsApp especially via chats, and Facebook through video calls.
Well, according to the 2011 National Census, there are about 21 million differently abled people in India, which equates to about 2.1% of the total population. Now, with the ongoing LokSabha elections, let's ask these people whether political parties are paying attention to what they need and what they aspire for.
Previously, governments were not supportive of such differently abled people. And he hopes that and make some special schemes for the differently abled people which will help them to find more jobs and help them to train in doing different kinds of work.
Well, now I'm joined by 2 of the 6 co-founders of the Echoes Cafe in Delhi's North Campus, and with me is Prateek and Kshitij, and they've been running the cafe for the past 3 to 4 years. Let's try and understand from them why they opened up this place and what are the challenges that they face. Guys, how did you get this idea of opening up such a cafe in Delhi?
Echoes, we opened our first cafe in Echoes Satyaniketan, which is a students' market. We wanted our efforts to actually showcase that society norms are not standard. I mean, people can do their efforts and build up the society. This is what we do by employing differently abled people. 100% of our services are managed by differently abled people, not just in one cafe, but in all the 5 cafes under the brand name of Echoes.
Okay, breaking stereotypes, you talked about that, and breaking taboos is never easy. There's a lot of societal pressure, there's a lot of personal conflict. How did you overcome these and manage to have been running this cafe for the past 3 to 4 years? What are the challenges that you faced?
Well, initially when we started off with the cafe in Satyaniketan, we were quite scared as to how the people will be responding to the concept. Because we've always observed that there's never been a lack of talent in the society. Especially when it comes to differently abled people, but it has always been like the mindset of the people is what hampers their growth. So when we started on with the concept of thinking that it will help us in motivating the students around the area to fulfill their dream, we were quite under pressure as to how the society is going to react to it. In the initial phase, the response from the people was quite slow, but gradually we started picking up the response and it started getting famous, and we started seeing that the people are behaving very positively towards the concept, and once they are inside the place they are quite happy. Like, we have literally seen parents coming with their children to the cafe, and after experiencing the service they are blessing the waiters and going. So it's quite a happy thing that we have seen now, and it encourages us and motivates us to like spread this message to more and more cities.
In fact, that's what I wanted to talk about. Over the past few years, there have been efforts made by whether it's NGOs or individuals or the government trying and reaching out to differently abled people and getting them into mainstream. Do you see that changing? Do you see the mindset changing, or will it still take time for people to open up and accept the differently abled as normal mainstream people?
Yeah, as a part of my daily activities, I am into hiring these people, so I know various NGOs that help them, with the basic educations and all. But to be very honest, for them to be in mainstream, it's still a far-fetched dream because they are not given proper education. Probably their parents are still afraid for them to go out on their own. But definitely company like ours which is now supporting, there are many other companies also now that are recruiting them and supporting them. With our confidence taking our references, their parents are now allowing them to move out, not only within the city but also in other cities as well. They are commuting in other cities as well. So that is empowerment. I guess we are the ones who have given them empowerment. Similarly, other people have also now started giving them empowerment. So continuing this, I guess in future maybe they are ready for the mainstream jobs.
देश के सबसे भरोसेमंद न्यूज चैनल डीडी न्यूज की निष्पक्ष, निडर और बेबाक कवरेज।
पहली बार कोई भारतीय मीडिया पहुंचा है इजराइल और सीरिया के पास मौजूद एरिया ऑफ सेपरेशन पर।
इस वक्त जहां पे हम खड़े हैं वो पाकिस्तान की जो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा है वहां से महज 25 किलोमीटर दूर है।
सीज फायर वायलेशन में सबसे ज्यादा निशाना इस गांव को बनाया गया।
जान जोखिम में डालकर हर चुनौती का सामना करने का साहस।
दंतेवाड़ा में ये घटना लोकतंत्र का जो पर्व है उस पर सीधा हमला है।
इस समय रात के 2 बजे हैं और आप देख सकते हैं कि अब पाकिस्तान की तरफ से एक फायर आया है।
अति संवेदनशील जगहों से खबरों को पहुंचाने का जज्बा।
दूरदर्शन की टीम सबसे पहले गंगोत्री धाम पहुंची।
जीरम घाटी से होती हुई ये सड़क जो जा रही है सुकमा तक।
We are at the easternmost garrison of the Indian Army along the line of actual control with China.
डीडी न्यूज, केवल खबर, पूरी खबर।
Informative, incisive, intensive. Get your daily dose of news and analysis in English News Night every weekday at 9 p.m. on DD India. Channel number 620 on Tata Sky, 199 on Dish TV, 150 on Airtel, 28 on UCN and 395 on Videocon D2H.
एक अभियान जिसने बदल दी देश की तस्वीर। जन आंदोलन में बदला स्वच्छता अभियान। गंदगी मुक्त भारत के लिए राष्ट्र हुआ एकजुट। देश के हर कोने से स्वच्छता की खबरों के लिए देखिए डीडी न्यूज पर विशेष कार्यक्रम स्वच्छता समाचार, सोमवार से शुक्रवार शाम 6:50 पर, सिर्फ डीडी न्यूज पर।
With an aim to break stereotypes, places like this cafe have emerged over the past few years and are only mushrooming across the country. The Echoes alone has branches in Bangalore and Kolkata as well. Even though it may seem like the perfect amalgamation of social change and a great dining experience, such places serve as a beacon of hope to those who see light at the end of the tunnel. The taboos around the differently abled are being shattered and they are being brought into mainstream, breaking the shackles of a life that was once wrongly thought to be doomed. In terms of efforts by our political leaders, LokSabha elections are underway. Do you think that has been done as much as it should have been done? We know that Prime Minister Modi also gave the term Divyang for the differently abled, and he said that we should be as sensitive to them as we can be. So obviously government effort also means a lot in bringing them into mainstream, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does help them to bring them in the mainstream, and nowadays there have been a lot of programs that are being organized and a lot of training centers are being opened up to help them to train in the initial phases of the jobs. Like even for recruitment via restaurant, they have already been started training by the NGOs by basic service etiquettes and basic etiquettes, how they have to behave in a job environment and what they have to do. So they are being provided with that basic training as of now, which was not there earlier, which helps them to get in and like gel up with the mainstream jobs easily. But it's still like quite a way to go, and there still needs to be more schemes and more centers needs to be set up wherein most of the people can like go and have an easy access to the training that has been provided to them.
Yes, of course. And personally, did you guys know sign language earlier before you opened this cafe?
No, we didn't. No.
And so you learned it on the job. What are the difficulties that you face in communicating with your staff? I'm sure now you've got a hang of it since the past 3-4 years, but initially I'm sure there would have been a lot of difficulties, right?
Yeah, definitely there were difficulties for not only us training them. We had help from NGOs, but they used to send some interpreters. We used to learn. We overcome that, but main fear was whether the customers will be able to communicate with them or not. So for that we made some procedures, some processes that allows maximum interaction with minimum problems to the customers. We are not using any tabs or technology to interfere between them and the customers, but we have made processes such that it is so simple for the customers to actually interact with them, which is actually uplifting them personally, because till now they were not given front-end jobs. This is for the first time that they are being given such an opportunity, and probably they are very good with it, and that is why people are loving it.
I'm sure people are loving it, but there are times when people tend to get insensitive. In fact, we are talking right now about them, but we also tend to get a little insensitive when we're dealing with them. I'm sure you've also faced a lot of those instances in the cafe.
Yeah, there have been instances when customers kind of like got frisky with them or like panicked to see how they'll be working, or like even before they saw how the process is gonna work, they were panicked already, just by thinking that a definite guy is going to come and serve to them. So they were already in that kind state of a shock wherein they don't know how they have to respond to what the waiter is saying, and they don't know how to use the process correctly. That is when we have to come to their table and explain to them the whole process and how they can actually communicate with them without any hindrances or without any gaps within the communication.
That's probably got to do more with the customers than with the hearing and speech impaired people. Our fears and our insecurities that make situations problematic for us.
Yes, definitely. Not only the customer, I guess parents play a very big role. Some of the parents are fully abled, their children are not. So they have a fear that how will they cope up with this world. So taking that fear out, education helps, training helps, employment helps. Employment is the biggest factor. So we are helping them by giving them employment. Some people are helping by giving them education. So everybody is playing their part. I guess the question you asked about government roles is immense, and it needs to be much more than what it currently is. So I guess if all the society members work towards them, then they will definitely get an uplift.
Well, I have here with me my friend Krishna, who's been working here for the past 6 months. Let's ask him how he likes it here, whether he gets family support, and of course, the elections that are underway here.
He likes working over here, and he does the job of a waiter, and he usually serves people, and he likes it, and that is the best thing that he does.
Now, Krishna, I've been told, hails from Madhya Pradesh, and with a lot of taboo attached to hearing and speech impaired. Let me try and talk to him and understand what the challenges are that he has faced till now.
When he was in MP, he was working for petty jobs where he didn't used to get paid much. So then he decided to come to Delhi. Once he came to Delhi, he get in touch with certain NGOs, and from those NGOs and through his friends, he got to know about our cafe. So initially he was kind of confused as to how he's gonna work and what all he's gonna do. But once he got to know like all the staff working over here is deaf and mute, and they all started helping him to learn and to train. So then he started to get a hang of the work, and once he told his family that he has finally found a place in Delhi to work at, and he'll be getting a salary of this much for the month, and then he'll also be getting paid off. So that's when his family really got happy. He generally votes in MP when he's at home, but this time he was in Delhi working and it was a new job for him, so he didn't apply for an off and go back to vote. The government over there keeps on like working for differently abled people, trying to get them in the mainstream and trying to make more job opportunities for them.
The people who come here are more than happy to learn the language of the servers and try and communicate with them as smoothly as they can. Well, Y Factor is all about the youngsters, the youth of the country, and right now I'm at a table at the Echoes Cafe. Let me talk to them how they feel about what the cafe is doing. Hi, what's your name?
I am Mohit Agarwal.
And what do you do?
I am a final year student in Campus Law Center.
Okay, so have you been coming to this cafe a lot?
Yeah, a lot. I am a usual visitor to this cafe.
Okay, and do you like it here? You know, the fact that differently abled people are employed here. Do you like it? You know, how they are getting into mainstream?
Yeah, actually that's the reason I came here a lot, because this was a thing that was conveyed to me by my brother. He was the first person to visit here, and then he told me about this place, that how they are employing unique staff for this service. And after I came over here, I really like the service that they provide. The staff is really nice, the service they provide, the food, everything is great about this place.
I'm sure there was, initially when you came, there must have been a lot of problem in communicating with the servers. Tell us more about that.
Oh, yeah. So for the first time when I came to this place, I wasn't able to communicate properly, and they had to guide me how to order basically, and how they can proceed with the ordering thing, the menu, how I have to basically ask for things, and how they will be providing it. So after that, first and second time, I was a pro in this thing, and not a problem was there.
And initially I'm sure there must have been a lot of problems in communicating with the servers, because they are hearing and speech impaired. How did you manage to overcome that?
Actually, the staff was very helpful. They guided me through it, that how we have to order, how we have to use the cards placed over the table, and how we have to ring the bell and wait for them to come over here, and then we have to order basically what we want. So they were very helpful in guiding us through that, and made a pro in that. So the credit goes to the staff as well, so how they help people when they come over here.
This is one of the few places which breaks stereotypes, which breaks taboos around the differently abled. Do you see the mindset of people changing in terms of how they treat the differently abled?
Can't talk about many of the people that I can talk about my group only, which with whom I come over here, and they really like the semblance. So obviously they have changed a lot. People used to consider them that they are not able to do anything, but when people as the restaurant owners use these kind of people as in differentially able people for their staff, so people like that stuff, because they show that everyone is able to do everything, but you need to provide them with an opportunity.
The cafe not only provides an opportunity to the differently abled to work in a largely pro-hearing world, but it also bridges the gap between what we think is normal and what is abnormal. It provides the differently abled a hope that one day their aspirations can see the light of the day, that they too can desire the highest ambitions, and that the world would be more sensitive and understand that they are as normal as anyone else. Well, they don't need your sympathy or your pity. All they need is your full support and love to become mainstream in society. And that's what the differently abled voters are telling political leaders and parties this election season, that they should be paid as much attention to as the other voters in society. Well, that's it in Y Factor this time. I'll take your leave. But before that, here's a message that they want to give you. Let's take a look.